the strength and vitality required for sustained physical or mental activity. Power derived from the utilization of physical or chemical resources. There's different types of energy, and it's all around. Energy revolves around everything. And I'm not talking about specifically electricity that powers the light or the battery, but the energy between person and person. The energy that I put forth to make shit happen. A lot of people don't believe in that. I do. People like the Pacific Islanders, Samoa, they believe in what's called mana. It's the same thing. And I bring that up because it is relevant to what I've always discussed in every interview and even in my own journey. The energy that we put forth to get things done. Your belief, your will, your drive, your focus. You put energy into that. And the energy that we put into something attracts like energy. So if I'm focused on success, if I'm focused on being the best version of me, if I'm focused on getting out of this fucking basement, or focused on getting an apartment, things start to happen. And they did. Because that's exactly what I did. Now, this isn't just thinking about it and letting it go. It's thinking about it and genuinely believing this is happening. It's going to happen. It's already happened. And personally, I focused on my energy just as much as I focused on prayer. And I don't pray as much as I used to. That's something that I need to get back on, because I believe they go hand in hand. And my journey, like everybody that I've interviewed so far, and all the people that I'll interview in the future, the one thing that connects us all, the one thing that they, along with myself, have in common is that we focused on the energy to get us higher than we are right now. And that could be spiritually, that could be mentally at a better place, that could be financially at a better place, that could be your job, your relationships with your friends, your intimate relationships with people in your lives, wives, husbands, girlfriends, boyfriends, your relationships with your family. When I was in my basement, that was my ground zero, like I talked about before. And one of the things that I did was I allowed myself to be vulnerable to positive information. Information that I always understood and agreed with, but never genuinely applied to myself. And I'll share with you the things that I focused on. One was that I genuinely believed that I was going to find my own place. I had to believe that. There was no other option for me. I had to. I had to think about my children and myself in a positive environment. And the basement was great for me because I could do that, but I also knew that I couldn't bring my children into that because there just was no room, literally. And so that was just a transitional space for me to get up and get moving. Just as much as you can focus on the positive in your life, and it will attract positiveness to you, positivity to you, you can focus on the negativity. You can focus on the bad things. You can focus on the shit that fucking drives you crazy, and you will continue to see more of it. It's in different forms. It comes in different people, but it happens. And if you don't take the time to understand that your will and your drive and the energy you put forth attracts like energy, you'll consistently be on the hamster wheel of life. And I am guilty of that 100%. When I say these things in my podcast, I'm genuinely not standing here trying to be some sort of prophet or some sort of mentor or somebody that knows what he is talking about and he's telling you what to expect. I'm just trying to share my information with those that may find it helpful. Where are you in your life right now? Are you happy? Is your journey something that provides worth for you? Something that provides justification to you? Right now, my journey in life is worth it. And everything I go through is justified because I'm the happiest man in the world. That doesn't come easy. It takes work. It takes work with my wife. It takes work with my children. It takes work with my coworkers, who some drive me crazy. But that's everywhere. That doesn't make me special. That's all of us. But the ability to sit and focus on what I want in my life. I want happiness. Let's break happiness down. I want wealth. Let's break wealth down. I want to be honest with myself. Let's break that down. That's a big one. And I'm guilty of not being honest with myself. I just got back from Cancun, and yesterday I went to a doctor's appointment that I forgot about. Ironically, I was going because I need to talk to a doctor about my anxiety. Forgot all about it. Had a blast in Cancun. My wife and I. Got to see my cousin and his wife, now wife Mary. Congratulations, Bito and Moji. Phenomenal time. Carefree. No anxiety, no stress. Did we miss our kids? Absolutely. Were we happy where we were? Abso-fucking-lutely. And then I get a phone call reminding me of my Friday appointment. Completely forgot about it. And the angst and the anxiety kick in. Why? Because I'm not comfortable with change. I'm not comfortable talking about my anxiety. This is hard for me. I get a lot of comments, and I'm grateful for the podcast. A lot of people are enjoying it. And I'm humbled because a lot of people tell me that I sound great. And that's what I want. But it's not easy. I'm genuinely doing this because I believe in its worth. And I believe that I have a purpose here. But I have to fight through my anxiety and my angst at times to do it. So I went to the doctor's appointment. Got that situated. Scheduled a follow-up appointment, which I didn't have to. I was given the option, but I scheduled it. Because I'm trying to get right with myself. I can't lie to myself like I've been on how I can take care of this myself. There's only so much self-medicating one can do. And I'm not referring to drugs and alcohol, but I'm referring to mentally trying to power myself through shit. It's tough. And it's been getting harder for me. So we have to break down the ability to be honest with yourself. Be vulnerable with yourself. Accepting your mistakes and your faults. owning up to it, things that I teach my kids, things that I'm trying to do now. Do I believe that I'm a genuinely good person? I'm a very good person. Yes, I believe that. I've made my mistakes, though. I'm not perfect. I've made embarrassing mistakes. But I believe that I'm a genuinely good person. And I believe that I'm where I am because of God, and also because I put myself on a path to focus on what's good, on positivity. I put God first in my life, my family, and myself. Now, one could argue maybe I should put myself first before my family, and you're probably right. You know, now that I think about it, I can't be what I need to be for my family if I don't focus on myself first. So there you go. But all of these things come up in today's podcast because I've experienced a lot of different emotions lately. And I'm realizing that as much as I focused on positive energy, I got lazy. I'm fully aware that I cannot conduct myself in a proper manner unless I surround myself with like energy. But I needed to be honest with myself that like energy comes in different forms. And I'm not trying to lose anybody here. But when I got out of that basement and I got my own apartment, I opened myself up to that energy more than I ever had before, because I needed to be put in a place where I was succeeding, where I was being the best man that I could be, the best father I could be, the best son, the best brother, and the best friend. And me being an introvert, I kept myself away from a lot of people. And I 95% of the time co-sign it, because that's just who I am. And there's times where I feel that the energy doesn't match mine, and I don't feel right. But there's times where I probably could have put myself in a position where I was exposed to more people. You live and you learn. My wife and I, next month, will be celebrating 5 years of marriage, 6 years together. And I'm the happiest man than I've ever been those past 5 years. I've become the best version of me because she is the most influential energy I have in my life. And I need to keep my focus on the energy between her and I at an all-time high. If I don't, I fall apart, and everything we've created falls apart. Now, some people don't agree with that. Some people don't go deep into that shit, and I get it. But you're here listening to my podcast. This is how I look at it. And I was watching my cousin and his wife marry now, and I could see that same energy with them, and it reminded me of my love and my commitment to my wife, and it reminded me of our vows, and it strengthened it. And sometimes you need to be exposed to positive energy, to love. Different kinds of it from different types of people. You need to experience it and be present in it in order to be reminded of your own sometimes. And so my wife and I come home and we're feeling fantastic. And I look at life a little different, in a better way. Energy is so important. You have to honor it. You have to respect it. Because just as much as you can wield it and use it in your favor, you can hurt yourself with it. You can hurt others with it. I got out of that basement thinking I will have an apartment with so much light in it. And I did. My bedroom had 3 huge windows in it. And I've never been one to allow so much light into my house. I mean, even now I have a hard time doing it because as much as I like light, my wife triple likes the light. Sometimes I need to tone that shit down. Like, I'm blind. I can't see. But I wanted to discuss this because my journey, just like yours, I'm sure, is conducted by energy. Prayer is energy. The power of prayer, as they say. It's energy. It's the will of the spirit. And I want to surround myself with like energy. And you should also. You should look around at not just your family, your friends, but yourself. Are you somebody that puts everybody before yourself? Do you not value yourself? There were times where I used to do that. There at all, with anybody or myself. I believe I am a product of, what is it, the law of attraction? Sure. You know, I brought that up several times in the past. A lot of people would make fun of me, including my dad. But I believed in it. And, you know, to my recollection, not many people came visiting me while I was in my apartment. But I also know that as much as that's owned up by other people, I also close myself off. Maybe I guess the older I get, the more I understand the responsibility of harnessing this energy and how to use it properly. I guess that's why I'm grateful for having Alexandra in my life, because she breaks that down for me all the time. More than anybody could have ever done. Anybody. She helps me maintain my focus. She can tell when I'm dealing with my anxiety. I'm not easy to deal with. And it's hard for me to express myself. As much as talking on the podcast gives me some anxiety, it also simultaneously calms me down because I'm talking on my time. I'm talking with hopefully somebody listening. I'm trying to harness the energy to put forth some positivity your way with my words in your direction. And as much as I do that, I'm still a student. I'm still learning. Energy is everything. And when I was in that apartment, then I decided, let me put forth energy into focusing on what I wanted to do with my children. They needed a bedroom. And I was beginning to get my credit together so I could buy a house. Naturally. My goal was to have a home where my kids could have a room. Maybe they would have to share a room at first. I was hoping I could get 2 bedrooms, but you know, sometimes you have these dreams and then you get hit with reality and you have to make a change. And that's not what I'm good at, but I was learning. I still am. That was my goal in the apartment. And I was hit with a curveball. I was getting my credit together and fixed. I was making plans to buy a home, focusing on and envisioning my goals, seeing results little by little, motivated and happy. And then one day in February of 2015, I'm leaving work on a Saturday. It's snowy. It's actually snowing pretty bad. I'm on 283. I'm going eastbound, getting off my exit. And right as I go to get off, there's traffic comes to a stop. I can see my exit, but I just kind of sit tight. I put it in park because no one's moving. I thought to myself, I really should just pull off to the shoulder and get off this highway, but let me just stay put. And out of nowhere, an SUV, a small one, I'm blanking right now on the model, CRV, I think it was, came out of nowhere behind me and smacked the shit out of me. And it moved me from a parked state in the right lane, clear across the left lane, into the median. My back window shattered. The seat broke, so I go laying down on my back. The stereo player ejects itself from the console. This all happens in, I guess, a second. I remember looking up as I lay there in the broken seat, and I could see the sky shifting through my windows because I'm sliding across the left lane into the median. And I sat there for a couple seconds trying to gather myself after the car came to a stop. And I'm like, immediately I'm trying to check myself. I'm trying to gauge my body. Am I right? Can I move my legs? Can I move my hips, my neck? Am I feeling any pain? My adrenaline is rushing, but I'm not feeling anything. That's when I realized, okay, my seat just broke. Fuck. Stereo player's out. Okay. I get out of the car and I look at the back seat, and there's just glass everywhere. The entire back window's gone. Shattered. The trunk was smashed all the way into the back seat. The first thing I thought of was, thank God I didn't have my kids. My daughter would be in the passenger seat, but my son would have been back there. Thank God. One thing that stood out to me is nobody got out of their car that was in front of me. We were all still parked, But I honestly can't say that I recall them still parked as I got out of my car. It was almost like tunnel vision kicked in, and I was just focusing on my car, and then I looked across eastbound lanes to the CRV that was on the left side of the highway, the right side of the highway. Something comes over me where I'm not even angry. I'm kind of in a state of like, well, fuck, what are you going to do? Of course, Murphy's Law would have it that this happens to me, but what are you going to do? Which is rare because I get pretty pissed off over dumb shit. And this is a pretty big, dumb shit. I should be fucking furious. But instead I walk over to the other lane. I cross the lane. I go over into the grass. Well, it's blanketed with snow, obviously, and I knock on the door of the vehicle, and there's 4 guys in there. He lowers his window, and he tried to tell me that he tried to stop, but he just slid. And I still, to this day, I feel like he hit me as fast as he was going. I don't feel like there was any type of slowing down. As I'm sitting there waiting to get off on the exit, I, for a split second, could see a shadow of a car approach the back of my vehicle. And just like that, I got smacked, and it was hard. I felt like he hit me at least going 65, 70 mile an hour. But I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to have to call the police. Somebody at this time pulls over and he's helping me. He's like, I already called the police. And of course, police show up. And that's the last time I see these guys in the CRV. The police officer was a nice guy. He gave me a ride to the Sheets. First time I was ever in the back of a cruiser. Like, no room. There's no room back there. Uncomfortable as fuck. But anyway, I bring this story up because I started to wonder what was the purpose of this. This goes against everything I've been trying to fucking do. I've been trying to build my credit. Now I don't have a car. It's totaled. I get, I think, $3,000 for it. I get I think it was like $2 or $3,000 for it. But I ended up, long story short, getting that money, and I went and got a car. And through that auto dealership, they banked with Citadel Credit Union. I ended up getting a credit card there. And I ended up building up my credit. So here I am with a car payment that I wasn't expecting to do, or make rather, excuse me. I wasn't expecting to have a car payment or a credit card. And now I got a car payment and a credit card, and I was doing it while I'm in my apartment. I didn't know how I was going to be able to do it financially, but I did it. And of course, then I got hit with another curveball, and that I can save that for, another episode. I'm not going to hit you with 2 curveballs in an episode. If I'm smart, I'll stretch it out so you guys will come back and listen. Let me take a Truly drink right now. Little break. Truly. It's truly good. And it really is. I got the tropical pack because I miss Cancun. So anyway, when I say that it comes in different forms, you're not just going to be blessed with a magical wizard who's going to grant you all your wishes, or a genie for that matter. Life comes and delivers what's meant to be delivered, and it will deliver it on its own terms. Be open and receptive to understanding that. Be willing to be vulnerable. Energy is one fucking incredible thing. But as much as I've been blessed with having so much because of the positive energy in my life, I've also experienced a whole hell of a lot with having negative energy, because I would focus on dumb shit, bad shit. I would say things like, oh, that never happens to me. I always have these issues. Well, no fucking wonder. I can't pray to God for help, but then not help myself. God is only going to do as much as he can do. Or she. Who knows, right? But I have to be in a consistent state of acceptance, of humility. I have to keep pushing away the negative thoughts. When I went to see the therapist, I went for about 9 months. I bring this up because one of the practices that she had me do, techniques if you will, is she would ask me to sit and to empty my mind. Close my eyes. She would say, close your eyes and empty your mind. And she said, focus on something positive. She said, but the second you start to drift off and think about other things, or other things start to come to try to take your attention, push it away. It was a great exercise because it showed me how easy it is to get distracted, because I'm very easily distracted. You can ask my wife. But two, after several times, how I was able to focus on something long enough and refuse any other thought into my mind. It's scary, but it's possible. There's a lot of people that I look up to, that I see, that are succeeding in life. You know, they didn't just snap their fingers and shit fell on their lap. Now, there are people like that in life, and, you know, sure, we see them on TV and whatnot, but we're not those people. But no matter where you are in life, you can control this shit the way you want to, with prayer, with thought, with will, with energy. The energy you put out into this world and what you want to see in this world is all dependent on the energy you put out into it, and it will come back tenfold. I believe in this wholeheartedly. And I try to teach my kids this. And that's difficult for a child to understand this because, you know, their world is slightly different than mine. I'm an adult. I'm a 42-year-old with children and a family with my wife. We got other types of things on our minds. But I remember being a kid. And I remember feeling like the world was falling down on me. Nobody ever broke down for me how I could take a step back and breathe and start putting things into motion in my mind. Children can do this. Young adults can do this. Anybody can do this. The energy you keep close to you, it needs to be good. It has to be. You can associate and you can talk with people of all different types of energy, some good, some bad. That's fine. But if you aren't keeping your house in order with the right type of energy, you're fucked. You're fucked. And I had to learn that. I had to learn that sometimes I have to let energy go because I have a goal in mind, and that goal does not coincide with the energy I'm letting in. And sometimes things change. I've let energy back into my life that's no longer the same. You know, I know it sounds crazy, but it really isn't when you break it down. There's people that I work with that give me great energy, and there's people that I work with that give me bad energy, and I try to stay away from those people. I talk and I say hi. I don't converse too much. I don't dwell. I don't go hang out, because you're not going to pull me down to your level of negative energy, where I feel it in my gut. I feel it in my gut. I can't do that. You know, when I mention my gut, there's been plenty of times that I could feel in my gut something wasn't right. That's why the phrase has been, it's a gut feeling. I just know it in my gut. There's a reason why your body is resonating the way that it is. It's resonating with the energy. Our body is 65% water, give or take. I don't know. I think it's around that number. Water resonates with energy. Water gives life. Doing commercial electric for a while, there used to be, I would help with excavations, and there were times that I remember that the roots of trees would find themselves growing into water lines. And that's because they start searching for the water. And so they grow towards the water. So if our bodies have 60% water, it's going to resonate a certain way with energy. That's why you feel it in your gut. Something's not right. I've had that plenty of times. I've had it where something felt too good, felt real good. Something feels really, really good. It's what I felt with my wife. So don't be afraid to listen to your gut feeling, even if it doesn't make sense in your head. Even if your heart is disagreeing with you. If your gut is saying something, that's happening for a reason. Follow your gut. Follow the energy. I hope that this episode of the Journeyman Chronicles did not bore you, but it's been on my mind. The power of energy. The power of thought. How you can will yourself through anything. The power of prayer. And like I mentioned, I'm still a student. I'm a student of life. And the older I get, the more I'm grateful to be alive on this earth. The more I want to continue to learn about myself and open myself up to positive change. And learn about myself. As much as I want people to learn about themselves, I want to learn about myself. I want to become a better person. I want to become a better man. I want to be a better husband and best friend to my wife. I want to be a better father to my children. I want to be a better son to my mom and my dad. I want to be a better brother to my sisters. But none of that can be done unless I focus on me. And that's okay. And that should be okay for you as well. There's no room for guilt when it comes to self-improvement. Life has no room for guilt when it comes to self-improvement. Anyway, I'm coming up on, 40 minutes here. I'm going to let this one end just like that. Since I hit you with an hour and 40 minutes last time, I'm not going to do that this week. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the love and the support that you sent to me or you sent to Alexandra about the podcast. Please keep listening. And please keep sharing your feedback. Because when it comes to energy, the energy I feel doing this and how it clicked for me and how I just bought the shit I needed to do it, it's great. The energy I'm feeling is off the charts. And I'm in my gut knowing that this is a good thing. So I'm going to keep doing it. I encourage you to do the same. Until next time, y'all be safe. And remember, maintain focus and stay continuous through all 4 seasons. My name is Felix C. Arroyo. I am the Journeyman. And these are the Journeyman Chronicles.